I want to share with you just a simple thing that everybody can do. This is so simple. Acts 17:11, it talks about the Bereans. It says, "These were more noble than those in Thessalonica, in that they received the word with all readiness of mind and searched the scriptures." How often? Daily. Why? Whether those things were so. Now, they didn't take Paul's word for it. They searched the scriptures. They were willing, if it was truth, they wanted to follow it. But they searched daily to see whether these things are so. My question to you is, how would you be able to test or personally review these messages if you don't take notes? It's going to be challenging. So the Bereans, they took notes, and then they reviewed these notes. I was reading in councils of parents and teachers. There was a school in Australia that the students, it was incredible, the students were encouraged to take note on an interesting discourse, review them personally, and then go share with those who were not at the meeting in the form of a Bible reading, she said. And as a result, the unconverted youth at the school, they were being converted. They were becoming missionaries. Church members who were not getting it at the meetings, they got it in the small groups. And there was so many little groups popping up. They would send forth these missionaries to the churches doing prayer meetings, medical missionary, evangelism, helping, treating the sick. And it was so productive. And it could literally be as taking your own notes. What I started to do was, whenever I study the Bible, when I study with a new contact, I give them a journal or a journal, and I say, will you commit to taking notes on everything that you study, whether it's in a video, YouTube, sermon, local, or our studies. Take notes and review those to see if it's true or not. And most of them say yes. And then you're creating basically a database of subjects that you are familiar with. And you're able to use those notes when someone asks you, why do you believe this? It's like, let me see. Okay, and then you have 20 verses to share with them if they're willing. And it's very effective that any of us are able to do. And some of the approaches you're able, like in Australia, they studied with youth that were in the church. It was interesting. You're able to find a blend of people who are attending church. Like myself, when I was baptized, I still needed help. Many times, it's like we will do all this effort, spend money, time, energy to bring people to evangelistic meetings. And at a meeting, they might raise their hand or come forward for a call to baptism. There's baptized. Then all personal labor ceases for their soul. It's like, why? And I'd submit to you that sometimes our focus, unfortunately, is to the purpose of evangelism has been to bring people to the church rather than to bring people to the truth. And if we really focus on sharing with people the truth, learning it and sharing with it, and using the tools that heaven has provided, then more people will come to the church, as we saw on the day of Pentecost. So you can even ask some church members that, if you feel more comfortable with that, sometimes there's Laodicean experiences. Sometimes we're trying to get out of that. A good approach you can do is say, hey, you go to a friend or family member and say, hey, I'm terrified to give Bible studies, but I recognize that I'm going to have to stand before kings and courts and rulers, and I'm going to have to give an answer for my faith as though there's not another church member on earth, and I'm not sure if I'm ready for that. And they're like, I think I can relate. Hey, what about, would you be okay if I practice on you? Could I just practice and we can learn together? Just like with Jesus, some who would be like, oh, I know that. I've gone through the studies. I've gone to the Revelation seminars. I understand all that. With an approach like that, they're more likely to say yes. And I've seen it happen. There was a student at our school from Puerto Rico, and she called up her mother, and she gave her, she asked her for Bible studies. It's like, hey, Mom, can I practice on you? And she said, yeah, definitely. I support that. I'll let you practice. And as they studied, the student was so excited, like, I've never given Bible studies before. My mom is accepting this. She's understanding. She has a learning disability, and she's understanding it. She's so excited. She said she's never had anyone personally labor for them or personally give her Bible studies. And for the first time, she's getting it. It's incredible. And when someone gets it, they want to go out and share with those who don't. And so my appeal today is really, it's a call for small groups. It's a call for just getting together with a friend, with a church member, with someone, and saying, hey, we recognize we have a duty. And I may not have all the answers, but together, two are better than one. And let's put something together. Let's use the Sherwood study guides. We have these Bible readings. Recognize it's a tool. I want to learn, you want to learn. Let's practice on friends, family, coworkers, neighbors, anyone who will listen. It will be beneficial because it's more blessed to give than receive.